Time for Good Footings, your non-essential or essential coaster, theme park, and amusement park news here on Coaster Daft. We have a little news out of the Fantasy Island area, so I wanted to give you an update about that and other projects and small parks. But leading straight in, yes, we know that Apex has gone bankrupt, which is unfortunate. It's never good news when a park operator, this one based out of California, does go out of operation, but it has happened. And they've filed for bankruptcy. Doesn't mean that the parks are going to be folding. Obviously, they have announced that Fantasy Island and Indiana Beach were closing and were previously for sale, but were supposed to be closing. But more news on that in a second. Apex is officially in its current incarnation done and folding for business. The parks obviously don't have to worry too much because we have Corona going on right now, so there's no real question about whether or not they're going to open or not. But if there is some restructuring that's going to happen for this business, it will probably be already put in place before the parks reopen. So let's keep our fingers crossed. We still want to see these parks stay in business. Now, moving on to the parks associated with Apex, we have Indiana Beach with some great news, at least that's been teased on social media, that the park is no longer permanently closed. And that's just dangling a piece of like candied corn in our faces, saying, okay, we know you're watching. We can't tell you quite what's going on yet, but it's coming. So great news. Looks like Indiana Beach may be saved, at least by the time that parks do reopen. There may be a whole handover of this park to new owners. We're not going to lose those 3 unique roller coasters that the park has amongst all the fun and memories that associated with a park that's been around for quite a long time. Now, moving on to Fantasy Island, 2 potential buyers have apparently moved forward with interest in buying the park. A former carnival operator looking for a permanent home, including as one of them. There is a park in France that has a medieval theme that's relatively successful. And being Niagara Falls, there's always going to be people that are going to be attracted to the area. So you kind of, if you're using a theme park as a base or just an amusement park as a base for a bigger idea, I kind of like the idea of a carnival company being based in a permanent area that kind of wants to do something a little different, maybe thematically, or sort of hold on to that old time thematic carnival experience. Just an idea I'm throwing out there. It's an interesting concept for what they could do. Really, the whole old model of what Fantasy Island is dated. It was looking dated if you had gone to the park recently. I think that there's just sort of a reimagining of that space that's required, which really could be done if the right amount of money and the correct vision is brought in. There's something unique that could be done there. Here's hoping. The town has put some efforts into finding buyers to revive the park. It is a chief part of the economy in Grand Island. So without having the park there, if you've been there, it does have a lot of businesses that are built around that area, particularly some hotels and some restaurants. Some have closed recently, which is also not a great indication, but the area is built for that kind of attraction. So if somebody were to move in and put some investment into it, it could be easily revitalized again. That all being said, rides have been sold at Fantasy Island. The Crazy Mouse has been removed, has been posted on many sites, and also the park officially has come to a settlement through Apex, which was predating their bankruptcy announcement, of returning money to season pass holders in the amount of $425,000. And that includes also bookings for campings and stuff like that. So at least they're leaving on a good footing for anybody that could come back to the park if there are new owners. So it does look somewhat positive in a way for Fantasy Island in the sense that there is some activity even at this volatile time, but it's still really up in the air. It just sits there. There's no way it's opening anytime soon. Silver Comet is rumored to have been sold, but there really isn't any information out there that I've been able to find saying where it could potentially be going or if it actually has been. Hopefully not, because I do think that that's a linchpin in the sale of that park to any potential buyer for an amusement-based interest. Because let's face it, Silver Comet goes, they can basically move all the other rides that are basically traveling-based rides anyway, straight out of there, and then level the entire park. So it's just the water slides that are more fixed. So let's hope not. That's just thinking too far in the future. Related to that area, Marineland is also indicated, as per an email that I received from the park operations themselves, which was very nice of them, that they're going to be opening 2 new attractions in the current year. Now that's up in the air, and it predates somewhat to the response from this email, as it's still a bit up in the air whether or not parks will open this year. But they are opening a new kids attraction, and they will have a new thrill ride attraction for park goers as well. What that actually will entail is kind of a complete mystery, but is an exciting announcement considering that this park does need that kind of investment, and they're being aggressive about it. It's exciting news for a park that is much maligned still, but now they're at least trying to put that investment into it, which if you've watched my vlog on the park last year, you'll know that I have a lot of good things to say about it, and this investment is a positive move forward for a park that has a lot of potential from rather darker years of its past. That's all for this update from now. Please like, subscribe, and share if you like what you've seen, and of course, enjoy the ride, everyone.